Yes, sir. We back at it again. Pop up style on y'all. Y'all come on in and talk to us, man. I'm telling you, like I was up late last night myself. I mean, I hit Smitty up, man. I was like, man, we're gonna have to talk about it, man. I don't slept on it. This Ray McLeod thing just can't let it go. Just can't get let it go, man. Perspective is everything. And man, we're gonna
Oh
talk
yeah.
about it today and just really just have a sit down conversation. I was talking to Smitty about it, and you know, we were just like, you know what, we just gonna take it to the Falcon fan base. We're gonna take it to the tribe called Falcon fans. So y'all come on in, man. We're gonna have a conversation, man. As always, I'm going to involve you guys. Want to know your thoughts in the chat. And what Smitty, what's going on, man? How you feeling today? You had them
Hey
chicken wings
man,
yet?
hey man, what's good, man? I'm gonna skip the wing today. I don't know what I'm gonna eat today.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I might skip the wing today. I got to try something new today. I don't know what it's gonna be though.
All right, now.
Might be some damn chili cola there.
What's going on in the chat, man? I was said Floyd Donnelly, what's going on, and Larry in the chat. Oh, what you got there, Larry? Larry said I seen Hodge make a post 2 days ago saying, "Stay with me. It's bigger than me, y'all." Pause. Okay,
Yeah.
but my thing
Yeah.
is real quick about Kadero Hodge and everything. Like, it's been a crazy situation about what's been going on with him, but yeah. Kadero Hodge, you definitely can feel like he has some cryptic tweaks that makes him, that he's feeling some type of way about some things that's going on. And
Right.
I mean, also I can say this, could say similar things, could be said about Chris Blair, even though he's not making any real posts about him, outside of just, motivational stuff. And that's what really all this is. And that's where all this is coming down to. If you go back to that Ray McLeod post about him and his comments that he said about it, it can get misconstrued, a little bit. Now, Smitty, we feel personally that because of the players, liking the post and also commenting and everything like that, that we're in agreement that it's in support of Ray McLeod and some of the things that what he was saying. But do we really have evidence that this was necessarily a mutiny or any type of mockery against Raheem Morris? That's the biggest thing, though.
Ooh boy. I mean, it's hard to say, bro. And like I just see, we playing we playing, good and bad with this one. Torn, what's up? We playing good and bad with this one. We playing both sides of the fence.
I
So
know
if
it.
you look at it from the side
Cop
that I
bad cop.
talked about, yeah, if you look at it from the side that I talked about yesterday, we don't know what's going on in that locker room, but from a vantage point as to what we've been seeing throughout the season, as far as cuts, as far as benchings, as far as miscommunication, as far as I mean, I could just keep going. Execution, just players just do they really want to play for him?
Healthy
So I
scratches.
get healthy scratches, all that stuff. So I get where you coming from when you said, "Do we have evidence?" Sometimes evidence can be staring you right and hiding in plain sight, if that makes sense. Because sometimes things can happen in plain sight and we don't take notice of it. But when it keeps happening, and and the reason why I made the comment I made yesterday, because it started with the wide receiver coach, and it's still going on with the wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why, from my vantage point, that's why I believe what Ray is saying. Because if it's not just one receiver, guess what? It's Kadera Hodge, it's Casey Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be some truth to it somehow. And think about it.
Oh, Chris
When
Blair not being raised
and
from the
Chris
practice
Blair,
squad.
right, him and Nick Nash. Well, Nick Nash has been elevated. But when you look at it to the point too, with I would say uh when you look at it as the way they've done things, and I called it before it happened. Young Way Cool is another situation.
Oh Lord.
I understand that he missed kicks, but you were the one that brought him back.
Yep.
You were the one that gave him another chance. But when they sent him home, I said he's going to be let go soon. Same thing with Ray McLeod. He got left at home off the road trip. I said he'll be gone soon. So guess what? It's got to be truth to it somehow. Because if current players, and I understand they got to stick by their teammates, but they also got to not insubordinate their coach. And it's tough to play both sides of the fence in pro sports because one, you got guys that are coaching you, and you got a front office that is paying you.
Mm-hmm.
So, ooh man, so which way do you go? So,
Now, did you have to go
not
the professional route the best way that you possibly can? That's the right thing to do.
agreed,
You know?
agreed.
But again, I mean, personally, we can have those personal feelings, and you can have like little shots and little subliminals here and there. But some guys are just not those type of guys. You have some guys that'll be like, yeah, I'll let you know a little bit, and I'll say this and say that about a coach. But most of the time, it's when they're off of a team or out of the league. Like Ray, he's off the team right now. The Giants, they released him yesterday. I see now.
It's
I,
probably
I
because of the
See,
post.
that's what
I'm
I'm about to
thinking.
say again. I don't know if
Yeah,
that happened before the post or after the post, because these players know about what's going to happen to them before it initially hit the airwaves.
facts.
So it's like I don't know exactly when it transpired, but my biggest thing is you look at some of the things that he was saying in the post, using spiritual scriptures, also just talking about like how God will challenge you. It's not still not necessarily like the players commenting and liking the post. Again, you have those different elements in there. They can just be, agreeing with that and saying, my brother, saying, keep your head up, keep going, all the stuff like that, just giving him encouragement because you already know the NFL is still a shield and still a brotherhood amongst each other.
Facts.
Just because,
Facts.
a player moves on, these guys maintain relationships, even on different teams. And even when guys do fall out of the league, they still have those phone numbers, relationships, and all those talks. So I'm thinking like for me, I'm just trying to be fair to the players that's on our team right now, not necessarily saying that they were trying to, attack the coach, but I'm just putting it on from a different side of the spectrum as well. It's not necessarily saying that these guys were saying, hey, yeah, we agree with what you're saying, like, oh yeah, let's fire Raheem. Now, if it was saying something like that, it'd be different. But they didn't necessarily come out like that. And I don't think they would either. But again, it's just something of like we don't necessarily have the evidence of just of the players necessarily just saying, hey, look, yeah, we agree with this. You have evidence of encouragement. That's what you have evidence of, though.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
what he was saying about his journey and God, testing them scriptures again. You have all those different elements in there, and then yeah, you do have that at the end about not being performance based. But again, this could be a thing that Ray is feeling some type of way, regardless. From all this has started, and he could feel like Raheem, this all started because of you. I was cool, we was cool, but now we not. So it's just again perspective from it all.
And I understand, you can't insubordinate the person that employ you. I get that part. That's a regular 9 to 5. But my stance on it is if nothing is going on, why did another player go to social media and back that by as they saying quoting the post by saying, I got your back or some shit like that. And I mean, because the reason why I said some truth with Kadera Hodge posting that and him being sat the last 2 weeks. Come on now, if they making that same accusation in different words, but they having the same problem. Should I say? Because we talked about it. If well, you alluded to it. Um, there was probably a situation with Ike Hilliard where he, went into a meeting, seen
Mm,
something he didn't like, and he tried to address it. And Ray, from things I've been reading, wanted a meeting with Raheem Morris, shut the
right.
door, didn't have the meeting. So I was
Had
always told, I was always told, every manager or head official should always have an open door policy because problems can always arise, especially if they're personal problems that you have to deal with before it get to a situation that make you lose your job. So you should have an open door policy anyway to be able to talk to your players, staff, or anybody. So
Mm.
for him to cut off um, that meeting, let me know, he's just gonna do things his way no matter what. And I feel like as a professional, you just can't do that, man. Your ego can't get into the way to you feel like you just untouchable and you're gonna do things your way no matter what. And this is why I keep telling y'all. This is why he hired two first year guys because he did. And now Chris made a good point about the coaching tree, but I felt like he did it because he didn't want nobody to tell him what to do. And now that this stuff is happening the way it is, as far as the insubordination we've been talking about, the releasing of Young Way Cool, Ray McLeod, Ike Hughes, and these guys, now to me it's starting to come to the forefront. It seems to be true. Now, Chris, you're right. We don't have any evidence of it, but what's transpiring over the last month and a half, it's starting to, really ugly face. And I think everything is gonna hit the fan as soon as he gets fired. I just feel it. And with Ray McLeod, if he retires in the next 2 to 3 months before the new league year starts, everything definitely gonna hit the fan because he'll have nothing else to lose.
Yeah, that's true, bro. I mean, again, for me, like I really feel like on a personal thing with everything that has gone on, and you add in the Ray McLeod thing, I feel like it's significant because of he used to play for the team. Ike Hiller, he had that was his favorite coach, and
Right.
he didn't agree with the dismissal. And I'm pretty sure there possibly may be other guys that didn't agree, but they didn't handle it the way that Ray did. And maybe Ray tried to challenge, some things and just said that was a bad decision, or
Oh yeah.
in so many words. And then Raheem, like, again, chain of command. So we're not going to have no disruption in this locker room whatsoever. And if a head coach doesn't want has a zero tolerance policy about that, then so be it. I get it, but again, I just wanted to be fair to the rest of
Okay,
the
let
players
me let
still
me
here.
ask you this right quick before you
What's
go
that?
on. If you making millions of dollars
Mhm.
and you were working up under somebody and you were satisfied with your contract that you and your agent agreed upon, do you feel like you had a nerve to collude against the person that's over your head to try to make some shit in order to get them fired and end up losing your job in the process if it backfires? Would you risk that?
Man, that's tough, Smitty, because you already know you're not trying to risk that. You're
That's all
not.
I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Because you said, is it Mutiny or Mockery? And I don't think, I don't think they would risk their careers to do that, man. But on the other hand, I will say this: they could go about another way by performance on the field, but you got to think about performance on the field as well because if performance is not up to par, guess what? You're gonna be on the street and you're gonna probably be looking for another contract. But at the same time, you got your goal accomplished. And let's look. Okay, let's look back at this post what we seen yesterday. Let's just
Okay.
look at it right quick. Let's just look at it,
Analyze it.
analyze it just a little bit. Maria Martin, y'all remember that part about the length? It was never performance based, and we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually said that before this even came anywhere around.
Mm-hmm.
But
We talked about it.
okay, I read the first paragraph. Past months have been one of the toughest battles emotionally and mentally I've dealt with in a long time, from taking the high road and letting stuff slide out to isolating my mind, body, and spirit. I've learned, understand it. I understand that during moments of growth, God will test you. Okay. So he said he took time off to grow mentally. So he
Right.
sit back, he's sitting back and wondering and praying, how to grow and how, he feel like God is testing him and how he gonna answer the call. And if you're battling stuff mentally and emotionally, that's a tough thing to battle because one, your feelings in it, and then your emotions in it. And guess what? Most of the time, your emotions gonna win because your
Yeah.
emotions gonna say, "Man, you got to do this and go ahead and do it right now." While your mind just telling you can't do that because you won't have a job tomorrow. So,
Right, right, and that's what I'm saying too. But even putting that into the first paragraph, right? Like
right,
he is indicating that, of course, he's dealing with things. I mean, he's been cut now. He wasn't really getting any playing time really with the Giants anyway. Everything that happened with the Falcons, so this season, people getting fired, etc. So I understand when he says taking the high road, letting stuff slide, etc., etc. I understand that he is talking about his previous time with the Atlanta Falcons. We don't know what happened with the Giants, but we definitely know he's talking about the Falcons. But again, you just said emotions play a part of it. And this right here looks like just an emotional post. Even where he goes to the part where he said, you have to understand that hatred or envy from others usually means you potentially, intimidate them, embrace it. Like, okay, that's a personal thing, but you also start seeing that he's talking about Jeremiah 29:11. He's also saying different things about the whole entire post. He's talking about God, and again, that's why I was talking about to the players, in respect to them, and in fairness to them. You see different things about that, and you see that they're giving him encouragement. It's just really encouraging words. It doesn't necessarily saying that, yeah, we agree. You've been taking the high road and all that stuff. You've been letting stuff slide. Yeah, yeah, you intimidate them, embrace it. It's not necessarily saying that. They're
right,
still just, being in support of a guy that has been battling things emotionally and mentally. And they're saying, hey, you're our brother. We got you. You know what I'm saying? There is no necessarily thing that in here is saying that we don't believe in Raheem Morris, even though I don't believe they do, even though I believe this team has given up on him. They're not coming out on this post and saying that. And I just don't want that to continue to get necessarily misconstrued and just saying, and people walk around saying, yeah, because of what Ray posted and the players, saying, liking it and commenting and stuff like that. Yeah, that means we need, so that they want them fired too. I don't think so. I just think, you'll most likely see effort, body language, and stuff like that on the field to kind of that's how I feel like players really just give up on a team, on a coach, and everything. They show it on the field and their effort. I don't think they necessarily hit social media unless they're just one of those guys that just want to be heard, like the loudest guy in the room type of mentality. So
but that third line, um, that to me, that and I may be reading a little bit too much into it, but it's I have an understanding that the devil may use other people to get in the way from the vision that God has for you. And I felt like he said that in a way, to see to what I said about I hear you getting fired. He probably felt like God placed I hear you in his path to strengthen his career. And when he got taken away, it just rubbed him the wrong way because he felt like I hear you done nothing wrong. Because if you look at it, and as I said, the wide receiver still not getting better, man. It's still the same old thing. And Drake London been out the last 3 weeks. So how have you benefited from firing Ike Hilliard when Zach Robinson is still the one calling plays? See, you got to look at it through their lens as well. If one coach gets fired, it's just like we talk about all the time. It's just like we're talking about now. If Raheem gets fired, everybody got to go. So you mean tell me you gonna fight Ike Hilliard, keep Zach Robinson, Dwayne Lefford, and everybody else on the offense? So
yeah,
you
I
got to
mean,
look at a multitude of ways, man. And I
I
just
agree.
think Ray he was frustrated to the point where you got to think about it too, and I tell y'all this in my own experience. Sometimes you got to think about the way people were raised. You just got to think about that because if the way I was raised and I see something not going right and not the way it's supposed to, and I see a person get fired, and then the person that told on that person, they still doing the same thing that last person got fired for, and nobody's saying nothing.
I'm not saying nothing.
That conflict of interest. So you got to think about conflict of interest at this point too.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we was talking about yesterday. Of course, again, yesterday was totally again, said like I really feel like it does have some connection. I'm not lying to you, Smitty. Again, I just like to think about things from both sides of the
Oh yeah,
spectrum.
yeah. That's only fair. Cause
Yeah,
it's two sides to every story, man. Let's keep it real. Two
right,
sides.
right. And even, but I do, but this line down here does, even before you get to the, it was never performance based in all caps. It was like this right here said, I understand, have an understanding that everyone is going to have their own answers and opinions without knowing anything, but God has control of everything.
Yeah,
That
that's
that was
absolute
very,
fact.
yeah, that's absolute facts right there. And again, I just feel like this entire post was, it's an attack of his situation going on this year completely. And
Yeah.
Raheem is a part of that and the Atlanta Falcons organization and how
Could
things
be
were
the Giants,
handled.
could be the Falcons. Yeah. Who
Yeah,
knows?
could be both, could be all one team. You never know.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
again, those are all just alleged, and you can be allegedly about. It could be allegedly about this. It can be allegedly about that, and that's the thing with these two. And I said it yesterday. I was like about this could be an attention thing. Before I even knew that he had got released, I had said that, but I was already looking at it from a different side. Like again, you can
Correct.
be emotional, just like how he said, mentally and emotionally, some going through some things, and you put it out there, and you just like, hey man, this is just what's going on. I'm getting it off my chest. I'm going to social media, even though I don't feel like that's the best place to go. But so that's where we're at right now, and that's what we're talking about. But again, fairness to the players that are currently on the team, I just think it would be fair to just say that hey, they are a brotherhood. It is real thing as just having support and what they're saying about support about going through the storm and support about embracing it and trying to overcome and letting them know that he's not alone. I feel
Right.
like it can be that and nothing else in this particular post.
Okay. Go back to the tweet that Maria Martin put up. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the tweet.
Okay,
Read the part where it says God always sheds light to the truth because it was never
never
performance
performance
based.
based. Right.
And what that tells me is he's shedding light on how bad this team was and what the problem really was, and it was the coaching. And
Yeah.
that to me, that's simply what that means. He shed light to the truth because it was never performance based. It was the coaching.
I
And he's
mean, and
talking
one
about go
thing
ahead, go ahead.
about
Go ahead.
no, I was just going to add to that, and I was just like, yeah, one thing about it, we are seeing that a lot of our issues that are going on right now is coaching. I mean, it's some personnel too. Can't lie about that, but for the most part, that's what coaching is supposed to do. Supposed to get the best out of a player as well. And if you're not able to do that, that does go against you because that's like part of your job. So you know, it's going to
But
be like
personnel is put on the field by front office.
yeah,
So
and
you
different
can't
choices
blame
are
it.
being
I
made.
mean,
Coaches want this
you
guy, coach want that guy.
right, right. You can blame the coaches, but you also got to blame the front office putting personnel in place. And
Indeed,
that's falls on Terry Fontenot, which why you said that's why I started to understand. I didn't agree with it at first, but the more we talked about it, the more you explained it, yeah, Terry gonna be in fault too.
that's what I'm
Because
saying,
some of those draft picks, yeah, that was his fault.
bro. I'm gonna give you. It's the thing. It's certain things that you say too, like man. And again, I am all for Terry Fontenot. I like Terry Fontenot overall. But again, it's not about me liking anybody, us liking anybody necessarily. You got to remember different things that you say can get you in trouble. Remember when we first hired Raheem when they had the press conference and they said we and then we when we the press conference after the draft when we have Kurt and then we take Michael Penix and they're like, okay, why you do that and everything? Oh, because we don't believe that we're going to be in this position again. And then Terry looks at Raheem and says, we're not. And then Raheem looks
Right.
back at Terry and says, right, we're not. And looking at everybody else like that. That right there was already one thing.
Miscommunication.
Right, Raheem,
Miscommunication.
but not just miscommunication, but you said you wouldn't be here, and you were. I
Right.
mean, you was in the top 15. You wasn't in the top 10, so you didn't necessarily lie, but it still wasn't where you wanted to be. Let's just keep it real. And
Facts.
and then you're and so then you take Jalen Walker, and then you come back and you get James Pierce. So you make up for that in my eyes. But also think about it like this too. Things that you say. Terry Fontenot said, I can sit here and say whatever I want. The words really don't mean anything. We have to speak with our results. We haven't won enough.
Mm,
I'm
that
saying
says a
that
whole lot.
statement right there it can also be tied into the failures that we have had here and be used against them, like saying, yeah, bro, we haven't won enough. You've done this, you've done that, but you, Raheem, you, Arthur Smith, did not overall get it done. And if that is what's said in the evaluation process, we could possibly be without Terry Fontenot, because he is really kind of tied to the hip of Raheem Morris, and it's really whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who put him there at the head, you still got to you still got to, cover whatever he do. If he make a move, you got to be there to, to okay to move. So that's what I'm saying. All this is not Raheem's fault. Terry always fault too. Cause all Terry got to do is say, I don't think that's a good fit. I think you should do this. Just like when he hired those coaches, he probably should have told him, I think you should get 2 veteran coaches. I know you like these guys, but I feel like by us having all these young players, I feel like veterans will be a more suitable fit for you. And I don't know how that conversation went personally, but that's what I would have said. Debo Vibes, what's good, my guy?
Dude, foodies, man, y'all check out Debo Vibes, man. He definitely be talking those sports. Be talking about life stuff over there with him and his twin. Yes, Debo has a twin, and
Man,
also,
they be
man,
at me dying laughing, bro.
man, what you talking about?
Bro,
And then also, check him out because he got be having the food channels too. Well, be having the food specials and different things going around the city, trying out different people's cuisines. So y'all make sure y'all check out Debo Vibes, man.
Mick Christian said that last statement was everything.
I know God always sheds the light on the truth because it
It
was
was
never
never performance
performance
based.
based.
And he shared
And
tonight with
again,
the front
me
office, with the
saying
coaching
indicating that
staff,
it's
and
the
everybody
coaching
else.
we see right
Yeah.
now.
Go ahead, you good. Let's see. I think he cut out on us. Let's look over here at these tweets and these responses in the comments. Our boy Titus said, well, Ray, you have 1 catch for 5 yards since your release.
Hey man,
Keyshawn said, this proved that once Ike Hilliard was fired, the season was over in terms of trust with the coaching staff. Yeah,
good one.
that's something to think about. JD said he either gonna say what it was or shut up. It's been weeks and he's still harping on being a bigger person. And Falcon, what that is, Falcon Formula
Falcon
said
formula.
I'm gonna need to tell all about his at some point. And they're making a good point because if you read this, he's only telling from one side. What did you have to do in this? And I see people in the comments saying he was overweight at the start of training camp, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have time to go home and to the gym and the facility at the training facility to lose that weight. You can lose that weight in a matter of a week and a half. If you diet right and you go get a plastic bag, run with it, you can burn that weight quick. But it's something, and I agree with them. It's something that he did that he's not saying, and I would love to know that. But we may never know until, like I said, until he retires or he goes on someone's show. And I mean, I'll try to get him on, but I doubt if it works. But I'll try. But I just want to know the whole story because I get then that's why I get why you saying is it mutiny or mockery, because we really don't know the entire story.
Yeah,
Because just like we talked about it yesterday, we could have got only a half truth. What about the whole truth?
right.
So
How
that's
about
we just
I
got to think
hate to
about it.
sound cliche, but what about nothing but the truth? Like, I hate to sound like a quote, but I mean that's the truth, really. Well, I mean at this point, it's just like I agree really with JD really when he's saying, man, you either just gonna say what it was or just leave it alone at this point too.
Right.
But again, he's got that vent session off, but moving forward, it's like, okay, if you're not gonna just come out and just saying, look, y'all, this what it was, then let's just go ahead and just try to see if we can move past it. Like all of us as fans, hopefully him, I say as an individual will be able to get past it. and let's just move forward, because we have a lot of issues already going on. And yes, the last statement was everything, but moving into tonight's game, by the way, that we have, yeah, we still got a game tonight. We got to be trying to focus on that and not necessarily, what Ray McLeod is saying. Still an evaluation process for players. Still, at least got a game that we can go out there and try to like at least stick out our chest and say, all right, Tampa, we're going to at least, get a win against you, or at least attempt to, you know,
Right.
you know. Say my opinion, Terry is doing an excellent job, but Raheem blew it for us as as diehard Falcon fans. Yeah, man. I agree. I do agree because Terry cooked this year in this draft, man. I'm telling you, being able to get guys to kind of like replicate what Dimitrov did, but really when you think about it in a better way, these rookies are showing out. Now once they got in their footing, James Pierce is starting to get going. I believe he leads the team in sacks now, and
Day
then
6.
also, yeah, and then you got Jalen Walker, who is still Mister Do It All. I understand he's been dealing with some injuries, that he's dealing with that quad now. Honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to play. He looks like one of those guys who is like, if you allow him, if you allow his key card to work to get into a building, then he's going to throw on his uniform. So, uh,
Facts.
yeah, man. So it's just like I expect him to play. But those rookies that you think about now, the unfortunate thing was about Billy Bowman. Nobody foreseen that. But even before when he did play, he was effective for the most part. But those injuries did slow his development down. Xavier Watts, I don't necessarily have an issue with him. He's still growing. I don't think he's necessarily ready to take over the reins just yet, but we'll see what happens when moving forward the rest of the season. Like I said,
Right.
evaluation process as well. So again, getting back to the point, Terry did cooking as far as the draft goes and getting players that we can use and possibly use in the future. But Raheem, man, you supposed to put the in the right dish, or on out there on the field, and you did your best, but it just wasn't good enough. We haven't gotten the results at the end of the day, because I can't say that the guy didn't try, but it just didn't work. It's just not working. And this was
And the
really like,
message on grew stale, bro. Let's keep it real. They
yeah,
not winning. The message
bro,
stale.
33-56 is the record for Coach Raheem Morris. 16-25 if you add the interim term. 16-25. So again, we just not have he has not been able to get it done. Whatever it is, whatever the coaching approach is, it the personnel, whatever it is, when it gets around Raheem as a head coach, it just does not overcome everything, and it's just not able to finish. It's not able to execute. Whatever it is, it's just not. And that right there is, it's a really an indictment in itself against him as a coach. But getting back to it, what Ray McLeod is talking about, and the players, since showing him support, is still not necessarily evidence that they're going at the head coach in that particular post.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, I mean, you don't get no simpler than that. When somebody give you the grocery that's good enough to cook the right meal the proper way, and you still try to throw in your own damn ingredients, they're gonna throw the whole dish off. And that's
Man,
exactly what happened.
but our thing is he been bro, but he been throwing the dish off since he been here. And
Yep.
just different decisions and different ways of just you can see his ego and his pride, just different like little marks just here and there. And overall it's just boiled over. It's just boiled over. And
Did
unfortunately, like I said, Terry is just tied to the hip to him. But it's really how the Falcons organization is ran. I seen someone in the comments earlier were saying since Terry shouldn't allow Raheem to hire these two inexperienced head coaches. But okay, let me give it to you from this perspective. What if the front office gave Raheem the authority to go choose all of his own staff members? No one's going to get in the way. Do as you please. This is your team. We want to see
they
you make
did that, bro?
decisions.
That's why Kirk Cousins is here. They did that.
That's what I'm
That's why
saying.
Kirk Cousins is here. That's why Jimmy Lake was here. That's why Zach Robinson is here. They gave him total control to do that. But at the same time, what isn't that Terry Fontenot's job as well?
I mean, it's
If he
supposed to
signed,
be,
if
but
he signed
again,
off on that, he a fool.
if like I agree, but the way that the Falcons is ran, I'm not making excuses for Terry Fontenot. I'm saying the way that the Falcons is ran, he may have not had the opportunity. Now it still isn't an excuse because at the end of the day, if you're not going to allow me to do my job, then fire me because I'm not
Right.
going to allow this man to come in and bring in inexperience because I'm still a football mind. I still have seen the past. And most times this doesn't work. So what makes me think just because, I said I'm in this position and God's gonna shine the light on me. And I mean, and it happens, but I'm just saying the chances that and all this is gonna work out properly. Nah, nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah. I gotta veto this. No, we're gonna do this. And if you don't like it, then I said you're gonna be
And
without a
you
job.
know why I would have took that chance, Chris? Cause he always got a job in New Orleans. Let's keep it real. If he want to go back to
Bro.
New Orleans tomorrow, he got a job there.
But who says Terry wants to go back to New Orleans? Terry may
No,
love
that's
it, and
what I'm saying. Terry got a
you
job in
got to
New
think about
Orleans.
your family at the same time too.
Yeah,
You got
but
to have to uproot your family. He may not want to do all that, and it may
agreed.
be a ugly, messy thing that can be accounted against him. Even if he does get fired, he still wants to get rehired somewhere. So and I'm just saying, like if you have on your record, oh, he got fired for breaking chain of command or going against the owner because he felt like this was the wrong decision. At the end of the day, you know how it is business wise. Just because you thought that personally, don't mean that you break chain of command, and you already know these owners be about the bottom line.
Right.
So like it's just again like we can say that and we can feel that way, and I do feel like he should have stood. She should have stand up and should have said, "Hey, look, I don't think this is a smart move right here." But again, just like Raymond Collins is saying, these are the results when not letting the GM have full control. How many times have you seen organizations not giving the GM the full control that it really has worked?
Bro, I
That's
said
my
that from
question.
the jump. I said that from the jump. One thing about the GM is the GM in shopping for the groceries and he let anybody else put product on their field and it don't work out, he the one gonna suffer the consequences. That's a proven fact over time, no matter what sport you playing. So I
Man,
mean, hey,
and
but
sure, even okay.
the thing is, a simple mistake at coaching can set you back so many years. Because it took us about 3.5 to 4 years to build this team we have right now, and it's only going to take us one bad season to tear it down. And like I told you, nobody's off. Nobody, is off guard. Nobody. Anybody can get dealt, especially when we don't have a clear cut at quarterback.
Mm,
Think about it.
interesting. It's
And it's
wild, bro.
sad that we talk about it drafting a quarterback 2 years later.
Yeah, that right there, and if you're drafting another quarterback, then again, that's a failure, bro. That like you're not supposed to be here drafting a quarterback. These are decisions, critical decisions that people get paid millions of dollars to make. That's what I'm saying, though. Like it's not like we're just out here just making these decisions and there's no consequences on it. There's no money on the line. Like people are getting paid for these decisions, and when they don't work out, it's like, okay, what are you supposed to
Man,
do?
ain't nothing you
You
can
can't
do.
you
You got
you,
to roll
you
with it.
you know how it is. It's about the bottom line, bro. Are we in the black or are we in the red? you know.
Right
So
now, we definitely in the red.
so my point. And when you're in the red, you start looking at the reasons why you in the red as a company. At the end of the day, we have a guy who is not a football mind, has definitely said that himself. We have a businessman. And if he looking at it from a business standpoint, I like the guy, but eventually you're still bad for business. That's why you can't bring back Raheem because Raheem was bad for business and bad for
Yeah,
the organization. We're not getting the results. We're not winning. That's what we care about. Winning.
yeah. But see, be real with you, Devon. Um, that's coaching. That's why he can't. That's why he hasn't played this season. They don't know how to get the best out of him, even though they coach him in preseason. They don't know how to get the best out of him in regular season. There ain't no way in the world you could tell me that he can't play. He's played in games, filled in, a couple of times, and made plays. And it's just about, can they coach him? Can they coach the quarterback to get him the football?
I don't
So
think they believe in Chris Blair. I've said that multiple
they don't.
times.
But that lets you know, if you're a confident coach, you believe in anybody. All you gotta do is give them a chance.
Yeah. That's all people need, man. Oppos, opportunities. That's how people, make plays. You give them an opportunity. You see if they can or cannot make the plays.
Right.
But yeah, and then I don't understand why not, because at this point it's December 11th. You're after tonight. You're going to have 3 games left. Is there really a point of playing Drake London anymore this season? You
I
might as
wouldn't
well
even.
go
You
ahead
want
and
me to be
evaluate.
honest, Chris?
What's
You want
that?
me to be brutally honest? I wouldn't even play none of my starters the rest of the season.
I mean, at the end of the day, well, first of all, we know guys
And I
have
know they
run
have incentives. I know that.
centers
Yeah, I know it.
contracts. They want their
Right.
money, but at the same time, it's like, all right, man, like, you can't just sit guys if they're healthy. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, if you're not going to, I feel like Drake will be back, because if you're not going to IR him, for if he's not on the IR after this game, then I feel like he's going to at least play one more game, or maybe
And if
two.
he was on the IR this game, he'll be out for the season anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
what I'm saying. If you're not going to IR him, I feel like you're going to have to eventually play him eventually. And why not have guys like Chris Blair, Nick Nash? You might as well let guys get out there and try to see what they can do in a real NFL game when it matters, and see if they can rise up to the challenge, and see what you got. Evaluation process. You got to see who's going to be here, because if guys can fill the void, or seeming like, yes, they can pick it up, then okay, that's going to be a position that you can play. All right, well, we got that situated. Now we can go look here
right.
and go look there. You got to evaluate.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, bro. That Rams game on Monday night,
I still can't believe it's
they're
still
gonna
going to
bring
be on.
back so many bad memories. Back in the day in the '90s, what what where they put us on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys or the 49ers, somebody they know we really not gonna beat.
Mm,
It was, I think it was only one game that I can remember on Monday night that we won against a team that was worth anything. That was over 500. And I think it might have been the 49ers. But it was one game that we won. It was the 49ers or the Rams. It was one or the other. But again, it just no reason. I mean, look, as I said the other day, there's no justification to bring Raheem back. None.
isn't, bro. I gotta agree. There is none. We just gotta keep it real. I mean, the thing about it, like, everybody keep talking about Arthur Smith, and the thing about it, we're gonna keep it real. We've even talked about Arthur Smith getting 3 years, but the way, in the context that we placed it, we're saying the history of the organization and the way that the owner likes to move. Normally, guys gonna get an opportunity to try to right the ship. That's just kind of how it moves. But
Right.
personally, we don't think that he deserves another shot, not another year. Why even go through another year and possibly be even worse? And then the fans are not going to be into it. Some of the players probably not going to be into it, because they know some of this is whack. And and you're just not getting it done in a league to where you have to win to be relevant of anything. So again, you slap in the face if he's brought back, because it's going to make us look like we're just not serious. Like,
Yeah.
we're like, we're just not, like, things are just not working out. And if you bring back him another year, that's just saying that you have faith that even with everything that you've seen, even with everything going on, situation of winning the game within the game, coaching decisions, bringing it in, bringing different guys in. So what, you're gonna let them bring in a new special teams coach and a new offensive coordinator and say, okay, we got experienced guys, we got better guys, let's go after it now. But why you just didn't do that from the beginning? That's going to always be my
Yeah,
argument.
that's what he should have done from the jump. If you're gonna fire Jimmy Lake, fire Zach Robinson too. But Zach Robinson, his boy, they came from LA together. They've been around each other for a while. He gonna go down with the ship rather
Shut
than let
rap.
Zach Robinson go. Because like I said, if you weren't gonna let Zach Robinson go, what's the point of firing? I hear you. It wasn't no point. And see, this is what Ray is talking about. You just it's laughable, man. It's laughable. Conflict of interest. That's all it is.
Mm,
But I guarantee you, we're gonna have this conversation down the road again. As soon as everything break, jumping on live, no headline, no nothing. It's gonna be the date for the title, and that's gonna be that.
right. Yeah. And
So
Derek, you're right. Arthur Blank does want to win. I know he wants to win. And he also going to have to make some tough decisions, within his team that he owns. It's going to have to happen. Regardless, something has got to happen. It's got to be an uncomfortable decision that you're going to have to live with. And it's going to have to be soon.
yeah, man. Ooh, nothing, man. Look, it's just gonna be ugly because I'm telling you that post game tonight,
Oh
it's
yeah.
probably gonna be quick.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm still gonna have faith in my Falcons, but I still rolling with the score that I'm rolling with. And I'm
Well, I'm
still
still 31-17.
yeah, I say 23-17 Bucks. I think we still try to make it at least competitive,
Yeah, because it's a divisional game. Yeah, I get that.
but but yeah, man. Another great live though, man. We definitely appreciate y'all coming through. We definitely just had to chop it up and bring this conversation to you guys all the way around. I can definitely feel like we're going to be talking about Terry Fontenot more moving forward as we're getting closer to the end of the season. And remember, he does not have an extension yet. So,
Oh, he gone. He gone. That's why. That's why I know he gone.
you
He
know,
don't have. He don't have another year on his contract. They don't have a reason to bring him back.
yeah, man. So,
And when you were
again,
telling me that, I didn't even think about that part. But yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying, bro. That always was in the back of my mind coming into this season. I'm like, okay, let's see if Terry gets an extension. And then when it didn't even happen after that draft he had, I said, okay, it must be really. Let's see what happens this season if Terry's going to be back. And this season has been a debacle.
but bro, that let me know Arthur Blake didn't. He didn't trust. He didn't trust what was going on then.
Right.
Because after a draft like that, you supposed to get a damn extension.
That's what I'm saying,
But
bro.
to see them fall off like they did last year, he said, well, he started off 6-3, but he fell off at the end of the season. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, he's still, on that losing streak from last season. So, boy, they ain't ready for that conversation. Trust me, they not.
Man, what you talking about?
Six and
Because
15, nah, they ain't ready for that.
that's man. I'm telling you, this 16 and 25. When you got guys like Zach Robinson out there making decisions. You had Jimmy Lake out there making decisions again. Why didn't you just go get experience from the front instead of trying to get experienced guys now after you see, oh, this didn't work out, so we're gonna go in this direction. This didn't work out. No, you just stringing me along. I don't want to keep kicking the can down the street. Let's just get it over with and cut. I'm gonna cut my losses while I can, type of a guy. So maybe like my personality is really coming out into this situation just a little bit more than what it should. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, all right, this ain't working. You know, uh, you at least would see some kind of progression. You don't see any kind of progression, guys. But like I said, man, thank y'all for tuning in because we don't want to end up turning this into a whole nother conversation. But we're gonna be definitely back tonight for post game. Me and Smitty doing our thing.
No
Tampa
doubt.
Bay versus the Falcons, man. But Smitty, let them know that you can find.
Y'all know where to find me, man. Fatboy Slim _21 on Twitter. Also find me at Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. You can catch me on Instagram at the AN, the number 2 WON. And follow me on TikTok at Smitty Sports Machine. Yeah, I'm over there too. But you ain't gonna catch me dancing or doing none of that or cooking no chicken wings. I'm just over there just shooting the breeze because that's what I do. But yeah, like Chris said, man, we'll see y'all tonight, man. After the game. I thought about live streaming the game, but I ain't gonna waste my time. because I'm be
Mm.
too busy cussing at TV. And
Oh
Chris know
Lord,
how I get when I started cussing
that's
at TV. Just ask him about the Russell Wilson performance against the Buffalo Bills a couple years ago. He tell
man.
you.
That thing was hilarious. I'm telling you. Mm. Oh yeah, man. Besides, I ain't gonna lie to you. And salute to like guys like Berto that does this live streams and stuff like that during the game. Dixon Way, of course, and the Dixons period. You know what I'm saying? Like over there doing their thing. Because I'm telling you, sometimes the initial boy, when things initially happen, it just be rough. But
Oh
so
yeah.
as for me though, man, A1 Forever Sports platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the A1 family. Also catch me A1 Forever on Twitter, A1 Forever on Instagram, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok. Man, we will see y'all tonight, man, after this Falcons game. It's the best what I can say.
You stupid.
Nah, y'all. Peace, y'all.
Peace.